Aloha, and welcome to the 5th Annual Maui Energy Conference, presented by the Maui Economic Development Board and the Mayor's Office of Economic Development. Please welcome Clifford Naiole.
In the language and the practices of our people. O nā kumua kua pau I hānau I ka pō I ka lai ki ku e mai ki kai mai. O nā kumua ia pau I hānau I ka pō I ka lai ki ku e mai ki kai mai. O na velau ia pau I hānau I ka pō I ka lai ki ku e mai ki kai mai. O na la kua pau I hānau I ka pō I ka lai ki ku e mai ki kai mai. O nā pua e ku e ola a kau I kane ko o palalau hala li au maka I o le kolo pupu e ai e ole a mama ua no lele vale ki o pule. Aloha. Thank you for allowing me to open this in a very Hawaiian way. That chant was to summon from the 4 directions of the wind some ancestral wisdom. And my hope is that as you go on with your energy conference today, you allow some awareness of ancestral wisdom to be combined with the contemporary workplace and for the greater good of mankind. The Polynesians and the Hawaiians were masters. They understood from the stars and the moon how tides were affected. They understood the temperature of the water, the fish that they caught, the currents. They also understood from the land perspective how temperature of the streams allow things to either flourish or perish. And how did they do it? As we all say, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. What it took was a human being to sit down and observe. They observed in silence, and they conferred, as you are today, to make decisions, as I said, for the greater good of mankind. Hawaiians knew that everything was connected. They understood the fact that if we don't take care of A, B will disappear, and C will be affected along the line all the way to Z. You have Koleana upon your shoulders to make good decisions for all of us. And I think we can all agree that Hawaii should be the poster child for self-sustainability in the world. There's no reason why we cannot stray from that. It's there for us. It's there in the sun, it's there in the wind, it's there in geothermal. Everything here has an opportunity for us to prosper. And I hope as you go on with your meetings today, that you will think about these things and bring on some new programs, exciting programs that says, Hawaii, you are the poster child. You are an example of how ancient Polynesians and Hawaiians thought. Use their ancient wisdom, and I think you find your answers. As the saying goes in Hawaii, very simple, man is merely the servant. Nature is the ruling chief. So if we think of it in that sense, well, we can sit down and understand that we are the servants. Nature doesn't bark orders to us. Nature gives us subtle hints. It's for us, again, to sit in silence and understand what they're saying. So I leave you with that challenge. Be the servant, observe, hail to the ruling chief called nature, and help Hawaii, help the world. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. I wish you luck on your conference, mahalo. Good morning.
Thank you very, very much, Clifford. Mr. Naiole is the cultural advisor and practitioner for the Ritz-Carlton Resort. Thank you very much for those wise words. Good morning, and welcome to our 5th annual Maui Energy Conference in this beautiful Castle Theater. I'm Teena Rasmussen, the director of the Maui County Mayor's Office of Economic Development, one of the co-presenters of this conference. We are so thrilled to see many familiar faces here today, as well as new attendees to the conference. For all of our off-island guests, we welcome you to Maui. As we say here, Maui no Ka'oi, meaning the best. So you know, one of the most endearing traits of the Hawaiian culture is the value of being humble. But there's two things in Hawaii that this value does not apply to. And that is the island you are from and the high school you graduated from. So nothing but bragging on those two fronts. So again, welcome to the best island in our state. So over the next 2 days, we have a program rich in content, generous in networking time, and some fun and relaxing things for you to do during your breaks. We know that networking with your peers is just as valuable as the content of the conference, so we have kept that in mind when scheduling the day's events. Our coffee breaks will be upstairs in Morgado Hall, and if you need any help at any time, just look for the people in the event shirts and we will direct you and tell you exactly what you need and help you with what you need. So this morning or actually yesterday, when working on my remarks for this morning, I asked Fred Riddell, our Maui County Energy Commissioner, how you go about talking about decarbonization in welcoming remarks at 8 o'clock in the morning. And typical Fred, you know, he gives me this lengthy, very involved answer that had words like anthropogenic. And I'm like, I looked at that and I said, you know, I realized pretty quickly that the subject discussion would be much better coming from the experts we have lined up for you over the next 2 days. So I'm just going to tell you, for the purpose of this conference, what we are not discussing when we use the term decarbonization. We are not discussing your soda losing its fizz. So in case any of you are here for that, I'm sorry, there's no refunds. Anyway, our conference being planned, any conference being planned, takes months of behind-the-scenes work and careful strategy of finding the right speakers, and then creating the program format that best showcases each speaker's expertise. And we had a very dedicated group of professionals working on this program for months. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our program committee for this 2018 conference. First is Doug McLeod, the chair of the conference program committee and owner of DKK Energy Services. Mr. Frank Dorrego Jr., he is the Director of Business Development Projects at Maui Economic Development Board. He is the Vice Chair of the Conference Program Committee. Lisa Briggs, Manager of Sempra Renewables. Colton Ching, Senior Vice President of Planning and Technology at Hawaiian Electric Company. Jay Griffin, he is a Commissioner at the Hawaii Public Utilities Commission. Jonathan Cohn, Regional Sustainability Coordinator of City of Boulder. Sebastian Bashnola, who is a utility consultant and former executive from Southern Cal Edison. Dave Parsons, Chief of Policy and Research at Hawaii Public Utilities Commission. And finally, Fred Riddell, the Energy Commissioner of the Office of Economic Development for Maui County. Let's give a big hand to our program committee. Of course, for any conference, the support of the sponsors is so important to the success of the conference. And so I am so proud to introduce our sponsors for the 2018 Maui Energy Conference. Starting with our microwatt sponsors, Amoresco, Amber Kinetics, Gridworks, Hawaii Energy Systems, Kauai Island Utility Cooperative, Kevala, Ohm Energy Technologies, Ride Smart Maui, Steffes, and Tabuchi Electric. Our megawatt sponsors are Hawaii Energy, Hawaii State Energy Office, the Hawaii Natural Energy Institute, Hawaiian Electric, Maui Electric, and Hawaii Electric Light, and Sempra Renewables. And finally, our gigawatt sponsors are the County of Maui, Hitachi, and Ulupono Initiative. Let's give our sponsors a huge hand. During your coffee break and dessert over lunch, please visit Morgado Hall, which is where our exhibitors are. And I would like to let you know who our exhibitors are that will be there. Elemental Accelerator, Gridworks, Hawaii State Energy Office, Hawaiian Electric, Maui Electric, Hawaii Electric Light, Hitachi, Ohm Energy Technologies, Ride Smart Maui, Sempra Renewables, Steph's, Sabuchi Electric, and Ulupono Initiative. Let's give our exhibitors a big hand, and please visit all of them upstairs. So now I am delighted to introduce to you a woman who has been a close friend of mine for over 35 years, all the way back to when she was in the banking industry. I would like to welcome the new president and CEO of Maui Economic Development Board, Leslie Wilkins.
Thank you very much, Teena. And of course, we were only 12 when we met, right? Absolutely, as good friends. MEDB thinks you're a fabulous partner, too, and always enjoys working with the Office of Economic Development. On behalf of MEDB's Board of Directors and our staff, welcome to the 5th Annual Maui Energy Conference. We feel that Maui is the perfect setting and venue to host thought leaders from across our community, our state, our nation, with our international partners from Japan and Europe to discuss innovation and to strategize on how to move us forward on our very ambitious and important clean energy goals. A quick snapshot of who is in attendance this year, enriching the dialogue at this conference. So although we have a long way to go to reach gender parity when you look at this graph, I am pleased to report that the leadership and many members of WIRE, Women in Renewable Energy, are here, and we are pleased to have 2 female keynote speakers this year that you'll get to hear their important presentation. And just to assure you that MEDB's Women in Technology project is working every day across our state to bring more girls and women into the clean energy science and STEM pipeline. To have a snapshot of geographically who's here today, and just on a note to our Oahu guests that are here, you are considered a neighbor islander in this slide. So enjoy that important distinction. And looking at sector representation at the conference today, we are truly a public-private, community-based organization and academic representation, so that will certainly make for enriched dialogue. And as you can see, it's led by the private sector. As we drill down into the industry representation, it is across the board, and that makes us strong. And perhaps the most significant slice that you can see in the pie is the other category with that little gray slice of students. This means that our audience and our conferees are comprised of many community members, residents, guests, and our students, which are our future, to lend their voices and their talents and their ideas on finding solutions. Before our conference opened this morning, we've had 2 days of great dialogue. For the past 2 days, we are very pleased that Neto chose Maui and this conference for their symposium. Our Japan partners have invested so much in our island community with the Jump Smart Maui project. We are honored that Neto selected this conference to co-locate many of the other demonstration projects that they've done and bring the leadership of those projects for the last 2 days to discuss and share their outcomes. It all began on Monday, midday, with a tour of the Malaya charging station, which was installed as part of the Jump Smart Maui project and now continues under EV Ohana. Our guests had a chance also to see the totally off-grid Blue Ion home in Haiku, And perfect timing, it was actually just featured yesterday in the New York Times. And the perfect way to end any tour, but especially because they have cutting-edge technology and clean energy, is at the Maui Brewing Company, located in the Maui Research and Tech Park, actually MEDB's neighbor. Co-owners Garrett Marrero and Melanie Oxley led the tour, and they made Maui very proud last year, as Maui Brewing won not only the State Small Business Award for the Small Business of the Year, but they also won the National Award for the Small Business of the Year, awarded by the SBA, and they were recognized in Washington, D.C. at the White House. For those of you that didn't get to go on the tour, don't worry. You will also have the opportunity to enjoy some of Maui Brewing's specialty products. Maui Brews will be served this afternoon at our reception.